If it isn't the Urban Therapy with Sun show, you think it ain't when it is. You think it won't when it is. All right, man, we're gonna get this thing popping and we're gonna have a good time today. We got a good show. We got a good show for y'all playing this afternoon. So let's get this thing popping and start dropping. Make sure that nobody else, everybody's copping. Word. Yeah. 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 What? Because everything is going to be all right when we do the show in the daytime, not the night. But when the night comes, we make sure that we did everything that was supposed to be done. Word. We complete our jobs, make sure nobody sobs, nobody has to cry. But you know why? Because when we come through, we bring the love and the happiness. No stress. The messiness that y'all be into. We ain't down that. We throw you out the window. And I know window and into don't really rhyme, but I make sure that I make it pop this time. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about money gone, friends gone, body gone, baby gone. I'm talking about legitimate concerns about our financial status, our ability to be the Pied Piper, our ability to be able to hold on to the love interest that we have had. You know, it's tough when you start getting older, you start getting wiser, you realize that other people are doing those things too. Everybody around you and within you is starting to expand. And you wonder if the things that you held that attracted people to you are the same things that will hold up in the long run. It doesn't seem to be fun, but you are the one, and you have to accept that you got to make sure that you're playing your next step up, and it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Yo, you do things your way. Even though you grow and you're not the same as you were before, it doesn't mean that you can't go on a world tour. Look at the Rolling Stones. They've been doing it for like 60 years. Yeah, the rest of their peers have stopped long ago, but they still on the road. We gonna make sure that we keep it jumping like a toad. Word. Money gone, friends gone, body gone, baby gone. You know, this whole thing about money gone and friends being gone, the whole concept of buying your friends. To you, initially, when you hear about somebody buying friendships, buying relationships, trophies and all of that kind of stuff, it may really turn you off because you probably are the type of person that wants to be recognized for the gifts that you have. You probably don't want to be the type of person that is only appreciated based on their financial position or what they can bring to the table. But you know, and I know that there are people who are more than fine with that. As a matter of fact, there are people who actually promote that. They tell you this is the way to go. If you want this, then you gotta have that. I guess if you're okay with that way of life and that way of thinking, then hey, more power to you. But for those who say, nah, man, I want people to love me for me. I want people to like me for me. I don't want to have to pay for things all the time. I don't want to have to be the big man on campus in order to be able to get access into things. But some people are fine with that, and you know it, and I know it. You probably have known more than enough people that said, "Look, I got to get this money," because don't know, like especially on the man side of things. You know, there are plenty of men who believe that. Listen, if you ain't got no money, you don't deserve to get no love. Don't no woman want no man that ain't got this, that, and the third, can't provide for her. Don't nobody want that. And they honestly believe that. Is it right? Is it good? Is it just? Well, that might not be for you to decide. It might not be for me to decide. But for the person who makes those decisions, they have to live and they have to die by those decisions. So what's it going to be? Hey, if your friends are only along for the ride, your lover, your wife, your side chicks, all of them are only along for the ride. Some people are perfectly fine with that being the case. As long as the ride is long, as long as I can ride this thing till the wheels come off and the ride is mine. Like if I'm the one driving the car, my name is on the note, then cool, I'm with that. Everybody can't do that. Everybody didn't go to school. Everybody didn't have these skills. Everybody doesn't have the personality. Everybody didn't get the job. Everybody didn't get their hustle on. I did it. So why shouldn't I have a prettier? Why shouldn't I have the baddest bitch? Why shouldn't I? I should. And why shouldn't she want a man who's going to provide for her? She should. And it should be me. I'm better than them. I beat out the competition. Hey, there are plenty of people who feel that way. There are plenty of people who feel that way. If you really think about it, I think Kanye West feels that way. But even before Kanye West became, millionaire and a billionaire and all that kind of stuff, if you go back and listen to his songs, if you go back and listen to the lyrics of songs that he has made, whether you choose to believe that there was any truth or that he was forthcoming in what he wrote and said, he talked for a long time about being an advocate of, if you got the money like that, you should have whatever you want. And if you don't have the money like that, you don't deserve to have anything that you want. If you haven't worked hard like that, if you don't have this, that, and the third to offer anybody else, then you shouldn't get anything else for yourself. You shouldn't get anything for free. There shouldn't be any gratuities coming your way. Hey, that's the way he believes. And he's honest. He was always honest and forthcoming with that. So once he got that money, he represented that. The whole, to you and I, we might look at his decision to fall in love and get married to and have children by Kim Kardashian. We might be thinking like, yo, man, you're crazy. She is an industry slut. That's how you and I may look at it. In his eyes, she's not an industry slut. She's an industry desirable woman. All those men wanted to be with her because she's the one to be with. That's how he thinks. That's way different than what you think. You may be thinking like, I don't want nothing that everybody else has or that everybody else has had. His thinking is more like, nobody would want her if she wasn't the thing to have. Well, now I have her, and I have her in a way that nobody else had her. They didn't marry her. They couldn't lock it down. They couldn't, as you can see, she's worth the money. She makes a lot of money on her own. She makes a lot more money than all of them niggas she was messing with. That's how he thinks. So for him, she was status simple. Not only was she white, but she was successful. It's a lot different than these other niggas that run around here getting these bum ass white chicks, right? That's how he thinks. And you have to understand that. And by the way, I don't agree with his thinking at all, but I understand why he thinks that way. And I understand that other people think exactly how he does. So in his thoughts, he is in good company. Plenty of good company. So that's what we're talking about today on the Urban Therapy with Son show. Yeah. Money gone, friends gone. I don't want to stay on Kanye West for a long time, but when he wasn't billionaire status anymore, I'm sure that he's feeling like he lost some friends. I'm not sure which friends that he considers to have abandoned him or turned their back on him or walked off on him. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know him. But I'm sure that plenty of people who supported him in the past have vetted him now. I'm sure of that. Even if you're just talking about many of his sponsors. You start mouthing off about the Jews, and all of a sudden, Adidas gone, Gap gone. I think Balenciaga, all those, whack ass shit. I don't. But even possibly people, regular fans and things like that, I'm sure that he has turned people off. But maybe in his mind, he looks at it like they weren't real fans. They was never really down. I saw a meme the other day, And I had to copy it down because it meant something to me. It meant something to me, speaking of Kanye West. And trust me, we're gonna get off of that right after this. Because to his supporters, Kanye West can do no wrong. So check out this meme. It's a meme talking about how Kanye West supporters will support him and make him look like the good guy no matter what he does. It says Kanye shits on the floor, picks it up with his hands, throws it out the window. Kanye shits on the floor, picks it up with his hands, throws it out the window. His fans say, y'all might think it's nasty, but y'all don't get it. There's a bigger picture. He's talking about he's taking all the shit the media has fed him, ejecting it, then throwing it out the window to represent his growth and separation from those that look to oppress him. He's a genius. If you're going to tell me, once again, his fans said, y'all might think it's nasty, but y'all don't get it. There's a bigger picture. He's taking all the shit the media has fed him, ejecting it, then throwing it out the window to represent his growth and separation from those that look to oppress him. He's a genius. And one thing about Kanye's fans, they always call him a genius. One thing about Donald Trump's fans is that they're always calling him a genius. He can do no wrong. No matter what he does, it was the right decision and it was well thought out. It's pretty amazing. But okay. So one thing that those two, well, there are a number of things that those two have in common. One thing that they have in common is that they're both born under the sign of Gemini. And I don't know how much any of you know about Geminis or how many Geminis you know, but any of you who have had experience with Geminis know that they are very good with twisting thoughts around, twisting words around, and making themselves look good no matter what the situation is. And other people seem to do that for them too. So they're both born under the sign of Gemini. That's one thing. But they both base a lot of their worth on their financial position. As good as a music producer as Kanye was, I don't think it would have satisfied him had it not materialized into a financial position that was far above everyone else. TK right says, did he really do that? That's disgusting. No, he didn't really do that. It was just an exaggeration, an illustration, and a little embellishment about how far his fans will go to support him. Okay, money gone, friends gone, body gone, baby gone. Let's get it popping, y'all. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this, the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is a Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh and cry, we argue, fuss and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should. Also, when we talk about money gone, friends gone, body gone, baby gone. What do you think about people who are only around for the ride? What would you do if you were the ride? What would you do if all or most of your significant relationships were based on the fact that you're feeding everybody, you're gifting everybody, you're riding everybody, you're housing everybody, you're the man because of what you can provide? And you know that as soon as you stop providing, or as soon as you are no longer in the position to provide anymore, they are going to be out of your life. She's out of my life. She's out of my life. Some people are okay with it. Some people are perfectly okay with it. Even some people who say that they're not okay with it are okay with it. You know, being the man with some people reigns supreme over everything. Being the man with some people is the most important thing. It's all that matters. If I'm the one with all the cheddar, if I'm the one that has all of the things that people would want in life, if I'm the one that can make the rain come and can stop it and bring the sunshine if necessary, then what's the problem? What's the problem? You know, it's like saying a person needs somebody else. You know, um, why need anybody else when I'm providing everything for you? I'm putting you in a position where you'll never need from anybody else. I got this. I got this. But you know, when you no longer have it, they're gonna be out. No loyalty. Well, some people don't think that people who don't have a lot of money or stuff deserve loyalty. Like, what are you being loyal to them for? They ain't giving you nothing, you know. They're still front and they're not giving me nothing. What KRS One said in the song Dope Beat. I got a 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 dope beat. And one of the lines he said, and this is one of my favorite lines of all time. He said, I don't brag about the people I know because they're still fronting, they're not giving me nothing. If you think that you could burn me with your amateur ways, keep in mind that I've been out there since back in the days. Yeah. It's a pretty hot line. T. Carey, right? Morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Emily Dunlap is in the house. Bow! She about to turn it out with 2 accounts. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Hope you're feeling great. Real great, you know what I'm saying? All right. So TK right says there are me and women who only want you as long as you're at peak fitness. Oh, we're gonna get into that. Mm-hmm. Oh, did you mean there are men and women who only want you as long as you're in peak fitness? Men, not me. Okay, got you. And she also says once the woman has a baby, the guy is gone, and once the guy gets his dad bod, she's gone or cheating. Hmm. That yeah, we're gonna have to explore that because that's interesting. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm gonna just be real. My experience from what I've observed of other women, women seem to put up with a man who doesn't look like he used to way better than men seem to be able to do it. They both do it. I'm not going to say that, the majority of men, soon as the woman ain't looking like they used to, the titties sagging like they didn't used to, the butt ain't up and real apple bottomed out like it used to be, then they be out. That's honestly not true from most of the men that I've observed. And I've known a lot of people. I've met a lot of people over the years, studied a lot of people and stuff like that. Now, in terms of cheating, people, I mean, from my experience, people who cheat. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, what their spouse look like. I've seen people with very, very beautiful or handsome spouses who still cheated, and their spouses or men and women had very, very high redeemable qualities. So it didn't stop them. It didn't keep their lovers in the box. Cheating just seems to be like one of those things that you either do or you don't do. But but yeah, from the experiences that I've had knowing women that I've known, women I haven't known too many women who use the excuse that, when I first met him, he was all tall, he was muscular, and blah blah blah. Most men ain't like that from the beginning. Just to keep it real. At least I don't think they are. I mean, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? T. Carey Wright, Emma, I should say, and Emily. What do y'all think? Do most men that y'all see out here in the world, are they muscular? Are they in shape? Are they fit? I don't think so. And I know most of the women out here, without having work done on them, a lot. I mean, we out here glorifying all of these really big chicks. If you want to keep it a buck, we out here giving most of the love and congratulations and praise to the chicks that are over 400 pounds. No, stop me when I'm lying. But on social media, you see it a lot. Now, this is the part where people be like, but social media ain't real. Okay. Well, 100,000 followers or 500,000 followers seems real to me. That seems real. I mean, do I have an alternative reality? I might do, but it ain't all the way alternative. There's some truth, and there's some truth. Okay, T. Carey Wright says it happens more often than admitted because a lot of men are embarrassed to share that she cheated or left for a hotter man. Interesting. And she also says if the guy is broke, then gets fat, she's out. Now that broke thing, I can agree with that part. I can agree with that part. Emma Dunlap says, "How the heck Emma show up? I'm listening, and heard him say Emma and looked at my screen. Only you can do it, baby. Only you can do it." And T. Carey Wright says, "Not all women, but a lot break out or cheat, which is a form of leaving." Okay. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you did a side by side comparison, who do you think hangs in there longer when the body ain't what it used to be, or and when the mind is shallow as it always has been? Do men normally start breaking out faster, or do women? You know. Now, T. Carey Wright, you brought up the fact that he might be broke and fat. Now that's a compound. And it almost sounds like an oxymoron to me. And I'm going to say something real stereotypical and real true. And that is that I don't know too many fat men that don't keep money. I ain't lying. Fat niggas, they about their paper. If they ain't about nothing, they about their paper. Them skinny dudes, broke as a joke. smoking roaches out of the ashtrays and being the third nigga on the blunt. But I haven't seen too many fat dudes who don't keep a good job, own their own business, save their own money, drive a nice car. I rarely see a fat dude on the bus or public transportation. If anything, like I've known some fat dudes that was scared to drive, so but they cabbed and Ubered everywhere. But they kept money. So yeah, I might be incorrectly stereotyping them, but I'm not sure if I'm 100% incorrect because I saw what I saw. I seen what I seen. Now, and I'm saying all of that to say that his woman may not be attracted to him because he's fat, but she's not likely to leave that check because that check, he's fat, and so is it. So is the check. So is the check. You're large, man. You're large. Oh, you're large. GK Ray says usually because he's paying bills. Yeah, no doubt. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Now, if that fat boy did go broke, yeah, some hard decisions are going to have to be made. Some hard decisions. I don't even know if men these days are looking for a chick that has a good shape. I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, I know we talk about the baddest bitch and all that kind of stuff and whatever. But we know that most men with money are the ones who get them. Not all the time. I mean, they have needs just like everybody else, and they're not always, looking for somebody who has that money, but they do realize because they've been groomed and taught by others like, yo, you can get paid for this. You do not have to do it for free. The stress that men give you is something that you can monetize. But what I really wanted to talk about with this whole money gone, friends gone thing is the individual stress that you may feel when you have to worry and when you're very anxious, worried, and concerned about not having the things that bring people to you. Maybe you're the type of person that can't be alone, doesn't know how to be alone, doesn't like being alone, is very fearful of being alone. Being alone means loneliness to you. Maybe being alone with your thoughts is just something that's nightmarish to you. Okay. If that's the case, then you know that if you have bought all of your friends, if you have led all of your friends towards you because of what you have, you know what happens when you don't have that anymore. Because there's an agreement in place. You have only attracted these people to you because of what you had. You actually paid for it. So how concerned are you? How much of your emotional space is consumed daily with not having it anymore? Do you have a way to keep people in your life when you no longer have the money like that? Have you have you brainstormed, devised a scheme, and come up with other ways to remain attractive when the financial situation isn't as strong as it used to be, or when other people have raised the bar on what they want from you financially? How much of your time gets used up by worrying about that? Is it the thing that drives you? Is it the thing that keeps you up at night? Is the thing that makes you do doubles and a lot of overtime and keeps you out there busting your ass? And if so, that's okay. It's okay if you say it's okay. It's not okay or not up for somebody else's declaration. It's all on you, baby. The way you live your life is all on you. Body gone, baby gone. How many women out there remember when they had the boom and the bow and the boom? How many of y'all remember that? It might have been before your first baby. Hey, some women didn't get the boom and the bow until after the baby. Shout out to y'all. You was flapjacks before the first and second child. Your second or third child brought out the best in you. Eh. But for other women, they may have lost some. They may have succumbed to gravity a little bit more, and they might be feeling some kind of way about it. It's understandable. When you used to be a shining star out there, when you used to be the one that was set apart from all the rest, when you were the one that used to dictate the tone, set the tone and the pace of what was good looking and what wasn't, when you were the tops of the pops, or at least in that top five, dead or alive. And when you feel yourself dropping down from the position, when the ranking systems don't rank you up there in the top five anymore, in your mind, where it all starts and finishes. Are your thoughts about that chewing up all of your good emotional health? Do you think that your man or your woman would leave you if you could not perform or look or present yourself the way that you used to be able to when you got that person? You know who I would think that probably goes through a lot of this? Models, fashion models, probably, and also male models. You know, we be talking about women. Women have babies, and of course, that's going to change the physical structure of what they were working with before. I mean, there's a person growing inside of you that's actually feeding off of you. So it's totally understandable that after you have a child or when you start having children, you're probably not going to look exactly the way that you used to. Some women snap right back. For the ones who don't, hey, got to deal with the situation. Got to deal with that situation. But for you, are you hooked up with a man, or let's if you're a woman, are you hooked up with a man who really insists on being with somebody with a certain body style, body shape, body type, and that was your body type? Do you fear that because you no longer have that body type anymore, that might sacrifice your man or your spouse? Has he possibly expressed that he didn't want to be with no woman who was outside of this body type? Some men will be honest about what they want. Some definitely will be. They'll be totally honest about what they want and what they expect and what their demands are. If you can't meet those demands, then I'll go shopping down the street. Hmm. I see that we have a caller on the line. Caller. And if anyone else would like to call into the show, I invite you to call in. And the number to call is area code 319-527-6199. Okay, caller with the last number 7019. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind this afternoon?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Feeling like a real man should. How about you?
Good, good. I'm good. So, I had a question about another question you had asked, but I forgot what the question was now. But I'm just gonna comment on what you were talking about in terms of men and women. I guess staying, deciding to leave, and I guess that's gonna depend on how confident you are in what your options are outside of your situation. I do think that men um, probably are more likely to um, leave or cheat and do stuff like that, as opposed to women, um, especially in situations and people that I know specifically. But I think women will probably stay more. Um, but one thing I noticed is that, like, I don't think that I can think of a situation where a woman was with a man who started out skinny, right? And then got fat, right? Usually you're either dating somebody who's skinny or you're dating somebody that's fat. Now, if a man like got like a beer belly or something like that, I don't think too many women will be like, ugh, I don't find you attractive anymore, and I need to find somebody else just because of it. There's definitely going to be other things that is going to make her say, okay, I can't deal with this no more.
Mm-hmm.
I think women are more, are a little bit more um, willing to work around some situations, and just having a gut is in my personal opinion, is not going to make me be like, nah, I don't find you attractive anymore.
Right. And that was kind of like a point I was trying to make. Women seem to be they seem to be a lot more tolerant and understanding of the changes, the physical changes that probably will take place. And a lot of women um claim that they don't subscribe to, certain looks or body types in the first place. Maybe some of them aren't being as honest as they should be, and maybe some are being spot on and being totally honest about how they do it. Now, I don't think that you can um say that you don't care about how a person looks, especially since the way that a person looks is the first thing that you see. If you meet somebody in person, you're going to notice what they look like, but that may not be
Right.
the determining factor in what influences you to pursue something further, and especially get into a relationship and lead to marriage. Like if you married your man because he was a big, young, strapping, I don't know, tall, handsome, muscular guy. I don't know how long that will last. You know what I mean?
Right.
As far
Right.
as being a redeeming quality. Like, what can you use? Like, is he good for anything? Normally, women
Right.
put a little bit more thought into their future preferences than some men do.
Right.
Not
And
all
men
women.
certainly do that. Like,
Yeah, I would think
men
they do.
certainly marry people. Yeah.
Yeah, men will take a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, for as many men that are that don't want to get married, or still want to be out there playing, as they say, there's still a lot of men that will say, man, I just want to lock it down real quick. Let me do this, even if they're not
Right.
ready. You know what I mean? They'll do it whether they're ready or not. Like, well, yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time. It might have been the bourbon.
Right.
Might have been the bourbon.
Right. Right. And I think it's easier. Like, I see more situations where women fluctuate in their weight and their appearance more so than men, mainly because we bear children, and that's almost an immediate way to gain weight. Men, it would have to be like more, almost a slower process, because is probably just from eating and doing nothing, or probably from drinking or consuming a lot of beer, that they get a beer belly. But that's like a slower process
Yeah.
than
Yeah, it seems to be a slower process with a lot of men. You know, do you remember the rapper, the deceased rapper made, God bless the dead, Big Pun?
yeah.
Now, when you see pictures, early pictures of Big Pun, you see, he seemed to be in good shape. He seemed to, had have had a nice shape and all of that kind of stuff. Then you fast forward, he died when he's like 29 years old. He wasn't he never got a chance to be an older guy. So, to blow up to almost 500 pounds, going from one, what was it, 180 or 190, I believe, is normally the weight the weight that they showed him in his earlier photos. So in that amount
Hmm.
of time, um somewhere between, I would say, 19 and 29, when he died, he gained an awful lot of weight. And I
Yeah,
would yeah, and I would consider that to be pretty fast and pretty extreme. And
extreme, right.
yeah, I wonder what his wife thought of his weight gain. But just like I said,
Yeah.
stereotypically, Big Pun made a lot of money.
But that's all we gotta say. Like his situation was certainly extreme because when you throw in the money factor, that changes things for a lot of people. But if you think about it, I don't know too many big guys, and I mean big and really heavy, who lack in the department of finding a woman. Um, so big or small, I've seen plenty of men find women and be happy, and the women that they are with are happy, and it's not a money situation. Um, and they find their partner attractive, even being big. Now,
Yeah,
I can't say that I know what that's about because I've never dated anybody who was big. Um, but I have dated a guy who was, you know, big, like heavy, um, being like tall and big,
okay,
but not like
I know what you mean. You
fat.
mean like 6'4",
Yeah,
6'5", but had weight. He was a
yeah,
big boy. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
Um,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
mhm.
Finish your thought. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to ask you. Do you do you think that women really fear losing a man, because they don't look the way that they used to when they were younger, or because they might not be able to do certain things that they were able to do when they were younger? Because, and I have to ask this because I see on social media, middle-aged women, they out here, with the weaves and the lashes, and getting this plastic, I mean, this cosmetic surgery, which is plastic, whatever. They're getting a whole lot of things done, and I'm wondering if they're competing with these younger women, and if they feel like they have to compete with these younger women, with these younger women, excuse me. Like, do you think that there's a large segment of men out there that are just waiting to push the separation or quit you or divorce trigger, because their woman doesn't have the same body as she used to? Is it a legitimate concern in your eyes, the way that a lot of women seem to feel about their relationship status in relation to their body weight, or you know their body, the way that they look?
Absolutely, especially in these times, because I mean, if you think about it, more men, as they get older, pursue younger women, right? You don't find too many men who have reached middle age and they're really looking for women within their same age range, because a lot of men, especially depending on whether or not they have children or want more children, they often say, they're willing to date younger women of childbearing years. Now, I think it changes once men reach over 50 and 60. Um, and even them sometimes want younger women. Why? I don't know, because it can't be about, sex at that age. So I often wonder what a man who's over his 60s sees in a woman who's 20 or 30, other than just how it looks to other men. The
Mhm.
fact that he has a woman that age.
Okay.
But certainly women nowadays more than I think or even can remember from before, are competing with a whole number of things. They're competing with, the look of younger women. They're competing with, the flexibility of younger women, the freedom of younger women, whether you have kids or don't have kids, and then you trying to just feel like you're not like you're desired, right? And so, all of that is reason enough to do things that you feel like men are attracted to. And, when you look at, I often say that men say that they don't want women who are, have all of these wigs and weaves and makeup and certain types of body. But it's awfully hard to deny that it's what you see. And I don't believe women are doing it because they think other women find it attractive, because that's not who they are catering to. And as much as you hear men say that they don't like that, I mean, the evidence kind of supports the fact that, well, somebody likes it.
Is that really? Is that is okay? You know what? When I hear that, and I understand what you mean when you say that, and there are definitely men out here who like weaves and what's the other thing? I've never.
Makeup and fake body parts.
Okay, yeah, there are definitely men out here who like that kind of stuff because I know men out here who are paid for it. But
Mm-hmm.
but to use for some women to use that as an excuse to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, which makes the look of the physical look of a lot of women stay the same. I liken it to racism. Yeah, black people say that they don't like racism. White people say that they don't like racism. Hispanics, Asians, and everybody else says that they don't like racism, but they don't have a choice. Whether you like it or not, it's going to be there. And sometimes I wonder if that's the same thing with all of the weaves and wigs and stuff like that. Yeah, men can say that they don't like
What
it.
you think men?
Hmm?
You're saying you think men basically are have resigned to the fact that they're saying it's just going to be there, or are you saying women say that?
I know that men have resigned to the fact that it's going to be there because even if you
Okay.
choose women, even if you choose to only date women or be serious with women who have a natural look, it's not going to stop the fact that out there they are a smaller percentage of the population in the black community. Because whether
Right.
what I can scream to the hilltops, I don't like no weaves, I don't like no wigs, I don't like no BBLs, I don't like no breast reductions or implants and stuff like that. It's still going to be out there. Not everybody is catering to me. They're catering to a segment of
Right.
the population that does want that, and they have resigned to the fact that regardless of what anybody thinks, the majority rules here. So there couldn't be this
Right.
many people out here doing it if there wasn't anything to it. So I
Right.
believe men when they say that they don't like this, that, and the third, but it ain't going to change nothing because what I like and what they don't like, we might have a small club. We like Pluto and in the rest of the solar system. We're all the way in the back,
Right.
and they trying to get us on up out of the schedule. You understand what I'm saying? So the
Right.
planets that you can see are the ones that are most visible and are staying that way. So yeah, um, I don't accept that excuse from women. Well, y'all say that y'all don't like this, that, and the third, but y'all be on it. I'm like, who are you talking about when you say yo? I just told you what I like and what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
I can't spend my time worrying about what the next man likes or what he supports in opposition to what I support. The ones out there are the ones that are promoting you to stay the same and look the same as everybody out here. And you're telling me that I'm wrong for not joining them. We have a
Right.
disconnect.
And,
you
but
know?
I think it depends on. It also is going to depend on where you're getting your sourcing from. So if I'm a person who relies heavily on social media to fuel what I think the world looks like and sounds like and things like that, then a lot of my thought process is going to be based on what I see on social media, right? And so, but if I'm not, if I rely on, whether it's my own experiences or what I come in contact with on a day to day basis, then my reasoning or my thought process might be a little bit different. Me personally, I don't feed into a lot of, what society says is how we should and should not be, but I also understand that there are a lot of people who do rely heavily on that and live their lives accordingly. I just don't subscribe to that. So,
Right.
I'm not fueled by, you know, how I should and should not look or, who is attracted to me and who's not. I also think that a lot of women are dealing with the idea that there are not enough men out here for every woman that exists. And so when you think about the likelihood that you have to change who you are or change things about yourself to blend in or be more desirable for the few men that do exist, then maybe you would subscribe to or do some things that you wouldn't ordinarily do because you feel like the pool is so small that you have to resort to, unusual tactics in order to get seen.
Okay. And all of those things that you said are understandable. It's the application of those things that I question. On an individual
Mm-hmm.
on an individual basis, how does it work for the individual? Be like, because I don't know how long you've been listening, but like in the beginning of the show, I was talking about how some people are okay with having to be the money man or the money woman or having to buy their friends and lovers in order to be in order to have those friends and lovers. Some people are totally okay with it. You know, many of us aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the majority of us aren't okay with that, but the ones who are okay with it are okay with it. Some have expressed that they're not okay, but many have expressed that they are okay, and they kind of move in that way. It's sort of like saying, "Listen, you want a car like I drive, then you got to work hard and make the kind of money so you can buy the kind of car that I buy." You understand what I mean? Step your game up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how they look at their friends. That's how they look at their career, their status, their whole situation. So,
Mm-hmm.
but for the individual who doesn't feel that way, you know, I would imagine that for a woman who is suffering from that type of insecurity, and I do believe that it's insecurity, thinking that my titties not as big as they used to be, or they don't sit up like they used to, like they used to, or the crease under my butt ain't like it used to be when I used to wear those jeans and stuff like that. It's starting to spread more, whatever the case may be. My man, I know what my man likes. I listen. I've been with women before where I've seen how their jealousy and insecurity, joins together to make a really, really bad cocktail of emotions. You know what I mean? And they get caught up in that. I've heard like, well, I know that you like this, so like any woman that they see you talk to, or that you even know, period. Well, she got
Mm-hmm.
a fat ass and you like a woman with a fat ass, so y'all must be talking. Like, what? Like, it can't be all of them. But
Well, you know what? I think it is sometimes fueled by things that men say, and it may not, the intention of the man may not be, to fuel her insecurities, but sometimes if you're a person who, like, let's say you started dating a woman because she did have a big butt, right? And then she lost weight, and then, but, maybe periodically she sees you looking at women with a big butt, or you might say like, "Damn, she got a fat butt," or something like that. So the fact that you are saying it not with the intention of fueling her insecurities, but that's what it's doing. And although he may not recognize it, but that's what it's doing. So then now she goes into a tailspin of trying to figure out what she needs to do to fix herself to get back to that.
um okay, let's do this. Because I've heard this argument a lot. My man, when I see him, watch porn, or when I see him, watch videos and stuff, or when I'm out with my man and I see his eyes cut over here, blah 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 blah. He seems to like women that they don't look anything like me. They don't look anything like me. So what is he with me for if he's obviously attracted to other women? And I think that's is first of all, I think that kind of thinking is really, really self-destructive. And I think that like it's so limited because of the insecurity. And insecurity does limit your ability to think logically. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it does. But when it's out of hand, it's out of hand. And the more and you've probably dealt with people who were irrational, based on their insecurity, and you realize the more you try to talk sense into them, the less it works. You know what I mean? Because
Okay, well,
they're afraid. But hold on, let me just finish this.
okay.
Um, from a man's point of view, we're thinking, yeah, I chose you, I liked you, and I chose you. We chose each other, but that doesn't mean that I've never liked the way anybody else has ever looked. Like, I eat apples.
Absolutely.
I eat apples. It doesn't mean I only eat one kind of apple. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that
Okay.
I don't like oranges or grapes or bananas. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I
Yeah.
chose the apple, which is you. That's who I'm with. It's not going to stop me from noticing other things when I'm out there shopping, because I have to still eat. But what I choose is what I chose. There has to be some type of respect for that. But insecurity won't allow a woman to think that way. It won't allow a man to think it either. We just don't talk about the same things. You very rarely do you hear a man say something like, you know, um, um, I seen her looking at dudes that's like 6'4" and I'm only 5'8". What's she with me for if she likes somebody that's 6'4"? A
I've
man's
heard plenty of men say that though.
well, that's
To
because
their
they
woman though.
but that's because they got more of their women in them, you know what I mean, than they should have. But more than
No, but
likely,
here, flip it to this.
hold on. You'll more than likely hear a man say that he don't want you looking at no man. I don't care if he's tall, medium, short, fat, muscular, whatever, skinny. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? That's more of what a
Yeah.
real man. I listen. I can't defend or speak up for a man that would actually itemize it that way, because that's some bitch sounding shit. But that's what we dealing with nowadays.
Right.
Go ahead. What you supposed to say?
No, I was going to say, well, let's flip it to something that men necessarily do care about. So if you took that same scenario that women feel about men looking at other women with a bigger butt, translate that with a man. with money, right? So a man who doesn't have money, right? And he is comparing himself or thinking that his woman wants someone else who has more money than him. Do you have the same feeling about the level of insecurity when it comes to men and how they think about money?
It's I don't know. Like I can only really speak from I can really only speak from my point of view without speaking from somebody else's from my observance of other men. You know what I mean? Like I understand how
Mm-hmm.
other men think. I just don't subscribe to it. You know, and it doesn't mean that
Right.
it doesn't mean that it doesn't apply or that or that it doesn't affect me. But
Right.
at some point, you have to decide for yourself what's working and what's not working, or what's going to work and what's not going to work. And some of us don't do
Mm-hmm.
that. Some of us, will walk under a threshold that is way below our forehead and decide, no, I ain't gotta be bending down. Why should I have to be bending down? It's my American right to walk through, without bending down. But you keep bumping your head. Well, so what? But still,
Right.
what's right is right. Like, okay, you know what I mean? And as stupid as that sounds, we act that foolishly towards each other. But
Right.
I understand the pain that a man feels when he knows that his woman has her eyes on another man. It ain't. It's a humbling experience. Shoot, I've been through it. Every man has
Mm-hmm.
been through it. You can't stop somebody from liking somebody else. You can't do that. But what you have to do
Right.
at some point is decide, well, how much of me do they like? Well, am I getting what I want? Because sometimes you can lose yourself and not even remember what you wanted anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
All you know is what you don't want. You got a whole list of things that you don't want. Now, what do you want? Well, I just want you to take care of this list of what I don't want. Mm. You know what I mean? So right then and there, your concentration is all twisted, and it's just the human psyche, out of control. It hasn't been reeled in a way that will allow you to be a better person and to allow yourself to live a little bit more stress free. You know, but I mean, but imagine being married to somebody that you think would go all the way toward divorcing you or abandoning you because you don't weigh 145 pounds anymore at 5'7". You know what I'm saying? Or
Mm-hmm.
because you went from a triple D to, how some women have babies and they lose their titties. So you might have gone from
Right.
a triple D, now you in a regular D or double D or something like that. Something, and they ain't as full as they used to be. They a little, you know what I mean? They dropping it like it's heavy.
Shut up.
But I'm just saying that I would imagine
No, but
that that's very stressful. That's what I would imagine. Go ahead.
no. So you didn't answer my question about the money thing when it comes to men. So do you look at it the same way as you would when you say that women is basically women's insecurity about, their looks and it's not necessarily reflective of their men? Do you have that same feeling when it comes to men when they don't have money, right? They don't have the money that maybe they desire to have. But and they're comparing or looking at their woman for wanting either him to have more money or looking at other men who do have more, or the fact that she's encouraging him to make more money, that he thinks that she wants somebody else because they have money.
All right. Let me try to do this directly this time. All right. Because this is tough. This is not as easy as it sounds. So this is what I'll do. I'll say what it is for me, and I'll say what I think it is for other men. First,
Okay.
no, you know what? No, I'm going to do that in reverse. I'm going to do other men, then I'll do for me. For other men, some
Okay.
some men have gotten their women or their friends directly from having the money, having the access.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to be in that club, and that's how they got what they have is in terms of friendship and being in love. That's how they got it. So I would imagine that they would be comfortable with that. You know, they know they have to. If they're losing it, they got to find a way to get it again. If they fall off, they got to find a way to climb back on. You know. Now,
Mm-hmm.
um, I've been on jobs. All of us have worked for somebody, and you will know you work in companies, and you see those at the top of the food chain, and you see, or should I say, the top of the pay grade, the pay scale, and you see those who are lower. And sometimes when you see people who are at the lower end of the pay scale, and some of them are married and they have kids, and you be wondering to yourself, how do they do it? How does he how does he take care of his family making the kind of salary that he has? If you got three or four kids
Mm-hmm.
and a spouse and you ain't taking home but $35,000 a year, that's a hardship. That ain't easy. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because you're not bringing home $1,400 on a check. It don't add up to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, so, but I don't hear them complain like I don't know if my wife going to be there. A lot of times, I've met men that I guess their wife worked too and all of that, and they seem to have been in pretty good, happy situations. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I've seen it go one way or another. You know, maybe I might look at them as they don't seem to be very ambitious. Like, dang, man, you've been working here all these years and you haven't even made it to $40,000 and you got kids and all. Do your kids want to go to college? How you gonna be able to afford it? How you gonna make a way? You know what I'm saying? How do can you buy a
Mm-hmm.
house and stuff like that? But those are all my expectations. They have to find a way for them to be able to function. And evidently they found a way for that to happen. Whatever him and his woman or his wife have going on, evidently is okay until it's not okay anymore. But I don't know if that would be
Right.
based off of his financial situation. But just for if I was in their shoes, for myself, I would want to make more because I would want my children to have things that they want. I wouldn't like to be in a position where I have to refuse or I have to deny their request for stuff because kids want stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't want them to,
Mm-hmm.
like, Dad, I want a PlayStation 5. I'm like, ain't no way I can get that shit. Man, I got three kids. You know what I mean? It's gonna have to be
Right.
all y'all PlayStation 5, which is not totally a bad thing. But you want to be able to give your children more than what you have. And it's hard to do that without being able to financially provide for them. So I would imagine that's tough. So yeah, for some now, if you got your woman from buying her, tricking and all that kind of stuff, man, you got to keep it up. You got to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? There is no if there's any area where whatever you did to get her is what you got to do to keep her, it has to be on the financial front. You cannot
Right.
you cannot only have something because you could afford it and then not be able to afford it anymore and expect to keep it. That's like having a car note. Like, yeah, you had enough for the down payment and the monthly payments. Now you don't have a job, you don't have no way to pay it. You think they're gonna let you keep that car? Doesn't work that way.
Right.
Does not work that way. The car, the house, the credit cards, all of that stuff is going to be taken away from you until you find a way to be able to pay for it. Your woman, notwithstanding, she's in the same boat. But y'all, that's the
Right.
contract that y'all signed. Y'all was with it. You know, y'all was with it. Maybe all of the other qualities that you have aren't even what she would even want. You might not be good in bed. You might not be all that smart. You might not even be all that ambitious. Some people make more money by mistake than other people do on purpose. You know what I'm saying? But in order to make her look the other way at all your other inequities, you got to come through with that paper. That's your contract. So now for me, I could never be in a position like that. I could never do that. I've never bought any friends. I've never bought any women. I've never only had a woman because I had a nice car. I've never put myself in that space. I have been in situations where I wasn't making hardly any money. Well, to me, I wasn't making any. Definitely wasn't what I was comfortable with. But I never lost anybody because that's not what we signed up for in the beginning. I consider myself to be blessed in that regard. Yeah, go ahead.
So in that situation, did you ever feel like when you was in a situation where you didn't have as much money as you wanted, did you ever feel like the person who you were with could possibly or desired anyone else because they had more than you?
No, because I'm too fly. I mean, I wish I was lying when I say that that's always the way I felt, but it is. I never thought that a man could take what I had based on money because that's not how I got
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can bring to the table whatever I bring to the table or brought to the table,
30 seconds.
I would expect you to be able to compete with me. But if I didn't pay for it, why would I expect to lose it from somebody else? You might be able to have it for a minute if she's not, I don't want to say loyal, but I will say faithful. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. If she's not faithful that way, but if she's not faithful, it's probably not about the money. You know what I'm saying? She was going
60 seconds.
she was going to find a way to, be with somebody else anyway. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but
Exactly.
but I wasn't luckily I wasn't raised to allow myself to be consumed about what I don't have or what somebody else has, in competition to me. So I
Yeah.
refuse to compete on that level or any level where I can't compete. Like why go there? You know what I'm saying? If you wanted
Yeah.
me because of my money, then you've never wanted me because I've never presented myself that way. I might dress nice
Right.
and have stuff, but I was never been the one like, yeah, I got it like that. Start flashing money and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I flashed money before, but not to get you.
10 seconds.
Like it's not going.
But I think
It's not
that
going
what
to
you said
work.
applies to anything. Yeah.
Yeah, like I know in the long run that's just a bad game. But some dudes don't look at the future like that. I've known plenty of dudes that where they was like, they would flash the cash just to, have the girl for the night. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I ain't worried about it be my girl. As long as I can get it to the hotel tonight, and it has worked. Next thing you know, they together though.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Now what? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, money gone, friends gone, body gone, baby gone. Hey man, people sometimes this doesn't even have to play out in reality. If it's playing out in your mind, that's more than enough because that's going to keep you up at night. It's going to keep you uncomfortable. It's going to bring about physical ailments and stuff like that. You going to start getting acne, alopecia, things are going to start happening to you because you can't find any peace and joy, comfortability, and happiness. And that's really the goal of all living things. But our psychology, it stops us from being able to do that. But we have to, at some point, realize that it's us that's keeping us back. It's not necessarily anybody else. If you're coming home to somebody, or somebody is coming home to you every day consistently, how do we allow other things to cloud that reality? Because it is real. Now, if you're dealing with a situation where your man stays out for weeks or days, or like there's evidence that there's something ain't right here. That's a whole different thing. It may not necessarily be because your titties ain't big though. You know, it may it might be based on something else that doesn't even have anything else to do with you. It's a little bit sad. I got to get ready to get it out of here, but it's a little bit sad because you know how like when married couples get divorced and they have children, and sometimes the children blame themselves, like if I be good, then will y'all stay together? Because children don't understand. They don't understand. This doesn't have anything to do with you. You're the part of us that we've been trying to stay together for. So but a child hasn't been experienced enough to know that it's not their fault that mommy and daddy aren't getting along. And sometimes mommy and daddy don't even understand that it's neither one of their faults necessarily from what they are blaming that's keeping them from being together, happily or otherwise. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at the wrong thing. And it's hard to cure a problem that you haven't even been able to get the right diagnosis for. And sometimes that happens. A lot of times it happens. If my dick was bigger, then she would love me more. Because the real problem is I can't make her come.
Okay.
But there are plenty of women out there that are unable to orgasm because there's some other shit going on. It ain't even the physical act that's stopping them. You know what I'm saying? It's some other shit. Yeah, it's some other shit. So
what's baby going?
Huh?
Well, what is baby going?
Oh, I said body gone, baby gone, like your baby. Like whoever your baby is. Your bae, your bae. Don't you understand anything?
Okay.
Don't you? I can't do this anymore. Listen, I got to do these birthday shout outs. I can't. This was going well, but now see you just try to irk me.
You
I can't.
say babe and not baby because I'm thinking you're trying to grow out a baby.
Well, bae is not an actual word, and baby is. So the root word of bae is baby, which seems like it's in reverse, but nope, that's the way it goes. The root word of baby is bae. No, the root word of bae is baby. Mm-hmm.
No.
It's the new English.
Okay.
But listen, I appreciate you calling in. It was a great call. Thanks for your input. It was definitely necessary and relevant, and I am in high appreciation of it. So go have a great day or something like that.
I'll try. Thank you.
All right. Peace. Good call there. Good call. Great call. Good call. Great call. All right, y'all. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious December 3rd, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. My girl going all the way back to the 1993 or 4. Marvinus Woods, happy birthday to you, Venus. And also Vanessa Worthy, happy birthday to you. And my girl going all the way back to the 1991. Adia Brown, Brown, Penn State, we are. And also Christine Smith, turning 58 years old today. And Nicole Nappy Nikki Carter, happy birthday to you. And DMC, that's DEEEMMCEE, happy birthday to you. And Tanya Sims, turning 53 years old today. And my man, Mark Kinney, happy birthday to you, Mark. And Karen Lennox, KL, go get her, turning 62 years old today. And Michelle A. Perry, my girl, turning 63 years old today. And Christine Epperson, turning 54 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Chris. And my good friend's mom, Vivian Gleaves Tomo Vert. Miss Viv, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, all the way since 1986. I said 1986. I said 1986. Franklin Learning Center. My girl, Shonda Blake. Happy birthday to you, Chan Blake, all up in your area. I want to say happy birthday to all y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious December 3rd. I hope that today finds you a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. All y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen. Money gone, friends gone, body gone, baby gone. Please remember that a lot of these things are really just going on in our minds. But it all starts in the mind. Whatever happens in the mind will eventually play out in the physical. And we can always improve our physical if we improve our mind. Of course, we try to be with somebody who wants to be with us. But sometimes we have to get out the measuring stick. Well, how bad you want to be with me? How much you want to be with me? I know how much I want to be with you. If we can get on the same page, there is no limit to the things that we can do. And I want to be with you. And I want you to be with me. I don't want you to be with me because I want to be with you. We don't always have to be equally yoked. But as long as it's fair, in the words I spoke, get to you and you can listen and don't mind listening to me. I don't mind listening to you. And what we're going to do is unlimited. I want to be with you, kid. And I hope that you want to do the same. And I want to be in positions where we say each other's name. And the fame doesn't have to be with us as long as we get together and be able to discuss the things that are relative to our position. We're going to complete that mission. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow. Wait a minute. Let me make sure we're going to be back tomorrow. So, you know what I mean? The Eagles game is tomorrow. I think it's like 4 o'clock. So let me be sure. This is December 4th. Nope, no show tomorrow. Game is at 1 o'clock. The game is at 1 o'clock, baby. So no show tomorrow. No Urban Therapy with Son show tomorrow. But I see y'all on Monday. Y'all be safe until then. Make sure that y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Okay, so a blog talk. We're going to get you out of here. Yeah.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
That was loud. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. See you on the other side, my baby. See you on the other side, my boobers. Word.